if you haven't lost them by now, talking about each other's bodies and glistening in the sun.
There you go. All right, so you're catching me off guard. Yeah, so I'm a Matt Rhule guy. I saw those videos about Mike McCarthy, and I was all in. I'm a sucker. Give me a story. Give me something to root for, underdog sort of thing. And I'm like, yes. And then Dallas comes and they have a sleepover, and it's a done deal.
They did, right? They had a sleepover. I think
that that sounds creepy to me, but what do you want me to tell you?
Yeah, he dropped a little something in his drink. He started,
get a
whole thing.
Get a little wild. What do you want?
But yeah. So also, if the Giants got Rhule, I mean, I think the New York writers would just have a field day with those headlines. All the Rule of Thumb, or Matt Rules, or
a lot of puns.
Breaking the rule, all sorts of things. He gets hurt on the sideline, snaps his femur, breaking the rules, all sorts of that stuff. So.
Yeah, I hear you. So yeah, that was my one, and my two was McCarthy.
Where are you at with Josh McDaniels? Anything?
I've bashed him a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not the whole signing with Indianapolis, like putting a team together, having assistant coaches ready, and then bailing. I was just like, oh, this guy's dead. Yeah,
he was just following his boss. He was just following the Belichick abandoning of the Jets model. But, that's another thing to consider, right? Those rumors about Belichick coming over. But that might be 3 episodes.
That'd be my episode number 3. Well, unless they close the deal tomorrow, but we'll find out.
Correct.
So let's see, what do I have next on the list? All right, for 2019, where do you think we went wrong with? Where does the blame game lie? Do you feel it's more Gettleman, or is it more Pat Shurmur?
I think it's a combo plan. I don't think either of them. I try to take, say, okay, if this past year's Giants had the best coach in the NFL, whoever you think that is, where would they be? And right, they won 4 games. Maybe at best you're looking at maybe a 6 to 7 game, 6 to 7 win season, something like that. And then I say, well, if they had drafted better, this past draft, there's so much to decode. I mean, to decipher. I did not like Gettleman taking Dexter Lawrence at 17, even though Dexter Lawrence has played well. That's his MO. He always picks good players, but they're not always the right players. So, you get a guy like Dexter Lawrence at 17 instead of addressing your pass rush or your offensive line or whatever. And so he's really good, and he's got a really good grade, but they already had interior defensive linemen, and they go out and get Leonard Williams. And so, I would say it's shared. I mean, we can get it to Daniel Jones all we want. He showed pretty good signs. I still think, in a way, I still hurt that they didn't take Josh Allen, defensive end Josh Allen, or outside linebacker from this past year's draft when he fell to them. And I'm like, we could have taken potentially Jones 17 or traded up for him. Who knows? But I'm going to say it's split. But I guess I might have to put a little bit more. Maybe a little bit more on Gettleman. Like, I don't really know what more Shurmur necessary. You know what? I'm going to take that back. It's a dead split. What about you?
50-50?
50-50.
Man, I would go.
Because Shurmur did make bad calls during the year. He never had a timeout. It was like he was allergic to timeout. If he had a timeout with 4 minutes to go, you felt like, what's going on here? It was like a rare occurrence.
It's like he's paying for them, literally.
No, it was crazy. He just never had any timeouts left, and I just feel like he seems like a good dude. And I don't know, in the locker room, I have to say, I don't think he lost the locker room. I think this Giants team, one thing I got to say is, other than 1 or 2 guys, they're a very likable group. I kind of like them all. But anyway, I kind of hijacked your answer. What do you got?
I think it's 60-40. Maybe.
Gettleman?
Yeah.
Why
just
so?
because it's the plays that you put together.
Yeah.
Then, we already had a good defensive lineman, just like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had Dexter Lawrence, who who a lot of people were telling me, oh, it's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it. And I was like, all right, I'll buy in. We'll figure it out. We'll move guys to positions that they're not really used to playing. All right, I got you. Mm-hmm. Then he brings in Leonard Williams. I'm like, not only does he bring him in, he sells. Mm-hmm. We're losing picks. We're supposed to be buying. We're not going to miraculously make a run.
Yeah, I don't know. He's saying, well, he was worth it. He says in the press conference, we needed Leonard Williams this year. What, to go from 3 wins to 4 wins?
Yeah.
Like what kind of team that's basically tanking is still up for the first pick, and all of a sudden you're like, let's give up 2 draft picks for Leonard. And I know he's young, but like it's a position you don't need. They just don't need that many interior defensive linemen, man. It's not that they don't need them or can't use them, but they have so many holes to fill. The fact that he keeps putting all the guys he brings in, he's putting them up the middle. I just don't get there are 10 other positions on defense and 11 on offense.
I totally get what you're saying, and it's not like Williams is a bad player. He's a good player.
He's solid.
I don't think they should give him like $500 million, but like he's a good addition. He's a good player. He's young. He's healthy. I get it. Just don't give him. If you love him so much, get him in free agency.
No, that's what made no sense. We wanted to give up 2 draft picks to see if we wanted to sign Leonard Williams. Like what?
Yeah,
we wanted to watch him. Like, oh, you can't. Well, you don't have a television.
No,
you can't send a scout to the game. Like, what do you have to watch him?
Not until the computer folk got there.
It's unbelievable, man. They should get together with some of these technologically advanced teams like the Astros and the Patriots who have cameras everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know. They have a lot of computer guys.
They have a lot of computer folks.
Yes.
Computer folks, yes.
So Sherman did some things that I thought were pretty ballsy, and I was in his camp for a little bit.
Okay.
Calls for Daniel Jones way earlier than I thought he was going to call for him.
Yeah.
I thought this was going to be week 6, week 8 sort of thing. No, week 2 he was like, next week Daniel Jones is starting. That's taking our 2-time Super Bowl MVP and throwing him on the bench again.
It made sense, though. It made sense. And after that second week, I was kind of like, you know what? I figured week 4, but the earlier the better. The earlier the better. And everybody's, again, I don't know how long you want to go here, but all this Eli drama, whatever. Look, the last couple, I appreciate Eli very much. And we could do a whole episode on Eli, and maybe we will, whatever, when we see where he goes, or what he does. But the best thing for the Giants moving forward was to give Daniel Jones as much playing time this year as possible. That's just the bottom line. And so I don't want to hear about feelings, this and that. We've done everything possible to make Eli, and at the end, I want to see him get one more win. Right. I was breaking people's chops. Why are you rooting for the Giants to get a meaningless win for Eli against Miami when it's just going to cost them a pick? I know rooting's not going to change the outcome of the game, but the guy beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl twice. You think one game against Miami this year is going to make a difference? No. Let's just get the draft pick. But so I think Sherman did the right thing there. I give you credit for that, and I give you, I agree with you.
There was another thing that I thought he showed that he was a leader, not our leader anymore. Mm-hmm. But Saquon goes down with the injury, and he's looking to come back against the Patriots, which was 2 weeks, and he's like, "You're not going up against. You're out of your mind.
Yep.
Let's relax here." Because Tom Brady at the Pro Bowl was like, "Oh, can you do 2 years in a row?" And that was giving him motivation to come back right away from the injury. He shut him down. And he made him wait. Otherwise, I think we were going to see Saquon hobbling out there.
Right.
And it's not like he came back with on fire.
No.
He came back. He was denying it, but he looked like a different running back, a good running back, but a definitely different one from what we saw prior.
With Shermer, look, with any head coach, it's always impossible to tell. Unless you get a guy like Vince Lombardi when you read about him. he took like high school teams that were awful to state championships, and college teams he like didn't even know how about basketball. They made him like, hey, coach the basketball team. You read a book on basketball and took that team to the states. Like, there's certain guys that just are always. I'm serious about that.
Wait, that's a true story?
Those are like pretty true. Like I remember, yes, it's very close to true stories if I remember correctly. And
that's pretty.
Yeah, and there's certain guys who just do that. But for the most part, it's hard to tell exactly what a coach is about. So with Shermer, I don't think he's a bad dude. I don't know if he's a bad coach. I just always sensed he was not the answer. And when you have two different runs with two different teams for, I think, 2 years each, and I think he was something like 9-23 with the Browns and Giants. Again, not a lot of talent, but didn't really show improvement. And rookie quarterback, I don't know what you could ask of him, but I think it was probably the right move to let him go. And it's unfortunate. I like him. Maybe he gets a job somewhere else. Maybe he's a coordinator. I hope he finds success, but it probably was the right time.
Yeah. So let's see. Next on the list was someone that you thought overachieved this year, and then someone you thought underachieved this year.
Yeah, I guess overachieved. I guess the easy answer would be to say Jones, but I really didn't know what to expect, and he was up and down. I mean, I put up a thing on Twitter the other day because I wanted to have something to feel good about, and it got tons of likes and retweets and some hate comments, but it was basically that Jones this year, as a rookie, he had I think a higher completion percentage than Tom Brady, a higher QBR than Aaron Rodgers, and more touchdowns per game started than both of those guys, Russell Wilson and Patrick Mahomes. But he had a ton of turnovers and stuff. If I had to say the one guy who overachieved, it would have to be Slayton. I mean, it would have to be Slayton, right? I mean, nobody really expected much from him, even though I was always kind of hopeful. But he really came into his own. He kind of became like the number one guy, a deep threat. I think his hands were suspect, and he had one or two drops. But for the most part, he really came to play. What about you?
For overachieving, I wasn't really expecting much from Ryan Connolly. I mean, he went out early. But the games that he was in, he flashed. It looked like we had a real player.
No, he looks good, man.
I guess that would be, that would have a little asterisk, but
right.
You have to see a full year.
I mean, how many games did he really play, though? Didn't he only play like 4 or 5 games?
It was four or something, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's unfortunate. It makes the draft a little strange when we talk about, do we have a middle linebacker, don't we? And, I think they should go 4-3, but that'll depend on who they bring in to be a D coordinator, assuming Betcher goes. But, yeah, no, Connolly, I'm cautiously optimistic about him. Or actually, maybe just regular optimistic.
Who would you have about underachieving?
Underachieving? I mean, I guess the biggest one would be Rosas. I'm not going to harp on these guys, but Rosas going from arguably the best kicker in football to, at times, arguably the worst kicker in football. DeAndre Baker, I know it's hard to say underachieve as a rookie, but I did say overachieve as a rookie for a couple guys. So I just think when you're taking the Giants just can't draft corners in the first round. Like, I know Aaron Ross was like, some people consider him okay or whatever. I never felt like he lived up to his potential. Eli Apple, Prince Amukamara, I just feel like these guys are always a day late and a dollar short, and there's always an excuse, something with their attitude or their head, or they don't get along with guys, or their mama's boy. There's always these weird issues with the D-backs that we draft. Amukamara got dunked in the tub by JPP. They were bullying him. And then Eli Apple, they said he couldn't even make a piece of toast without his mom there. Like, all these weird things. And the Giants are like, hey, come on. But, Baker, if you're the first corner taken, like, I don't want to, but I guess he got better by the end of the year. Will Hernandez, I was in love with as a rookie. I love this guy. And then apparently his grade got worse, PFF, whatever. I forget if it was pass blocking or run blocking, but one of them got significantly worse this year. And Evan Ingram, I just got no time for that guy anymore. I don't know. I just can't deal with the injuries and unfortunately nowadays with these guys, the agents are in their ears. It's not worth risking a career. Well, you don't know, not him necessarily, but with everybody with his injuries, you just have to wonder what's what's really going on here? So there's a huge list, but those are the 4 guys I'd kind of put on top.
Yeah, mine was, I think, Evan Ingram. It's always like next year we think he's going to make that step up, and then the year after that, we're like, this is the year to step up. Now, this year was the contract year. You know, they could add the 5th year on. He's going to have a monster year. And he plays well. He does play well. He's just not available, right?
Oh, I mean, he made one of the biggest plays of the year. I mean, in the Tampa Bay game, that whole Jones thing basically happened because of, you know, that little crossing route that he ran, and he took it in, 75 or so yards for a touchdown, first play of the second half, something like that. So, I mean, he's extremely talented, but
if he could stay healthy, right, that would be.
But that if you're asking that, if you're saying that about a guy this early in his career, this often, it's just never going to happen.
Okay,
it's just never going to happen.
The other guy, I won't say underachieved, but Sterling Shepard, man.
Yeah.
Is he going to shut it down at the end of the year?
I think he'll keep playing, but I mean, he's potentially one hit away from it being over, which is a shame. I've always loved Sterling Shepard, although last 2 years he's kind of changed. I feel like Beckham changed him. He was never really a hot dog, and all of a sudden now he's just probably
hot dogging a little.
He's been a big hot dog the last couple of years, and to the point where he's gotten some penalties and stuff, and you know, Golden Tate, who I'm not even going to get started on, but you know, he's just whatever. I can't with that stuff. But anyway, I don't think Golden Tate's ever actually seen the goal line because he always has to go backwards over it just to show off. But yeah, Shepard I love, man. I love. It reminds me almost of like a Steve Smith, but for probably Steve Smith of the Giants of the Super Bowl, Steve Smith. Right. But yeah, I mean, you know, receivers. I mean, especially in his position, coming across the middle, getting hit. It's just a shame, but if I had to guess, if I had to predict, I'd probably say he's not playing football 2 years from now, just because, you know, these head injuries, they're taking it seriously, which they should.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't want to see the guy get messed up or anything like that.
I know, and I really like him. He plays hard.
Yeah, the last game, I thought it was going to be a concussion, but Ric Flair body slammed him. And he's broke a rib or something like that, and he was at the hospital. So I was like, oh,
yeah,
God.
That's right. Was it a rib or his spleen or his lower back or a kidney? Something weird, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was a rib injury, and they were worried that it was worse than that. But
yeah, you don't know, and that's what makes you think. You know, draft where do you take a receiver? It's the biggest receiver, probably the best wide receiver class maybe ever, some people are saying. And, of course, the nature of the game is changing in such a way that receivers are going to shine more. But, you know, do you have 3 guys, or do you start to say, well, one's a rookie, we don't know what he's going to be, one's injury prone, we don't know what he's going to be, and one's, you know, a little long in the tooth, and who knows how long he's going to last, and you know, Tate. So a lot of question marks.
For 2019, how did you think the Giants were going to do?
My prediction for the Giants was 6-10. I was thinking 7-9. I think I lowered it to 6-10 before the season, and even though it felt like we were so far away from that, they ended up only 2 games off the mark. But yeah, I was thinking 6-10. I thought that Saquon was going to do unbelievable things because I thought the Giants' offensive line was atrocious last year in 18, his rookie year. And then I'm like, okay, Hernandez is a year better. Maybe Solder, is sick of hearing the critics and he's comfortable in New York now. Maybe, Jalapeno is going to be healthy again. They got Zeitler at right guard. They got Remmers at right tackle. I felt like every position, especially center through the right side, would be a little bit improved. And so I just thought that Saquon was going to do, like I said, just amazing things. And then, he gets hurt and then the line kind of doesn't do what we thought it was going to do, although I think I saw it was ranked about number 16 or 17 in the NFL.
Yeah, middle of the road. Right.
What'd you have the Giants going?
I had them at 5. I thought it was going to be a match, but I didn't think it would. I had them at 5 wins, right?
5 wins.
Good. But I didn't think it was going to go they would start out 0-2, then they would, wind up being 2-2, and then they would
Right.
drop a ton, then they would win one. I thought it would be more of an up and down. Even when I was predicting 5 wins, I didn't think maybe I kind of did think Sherman wouldn't last if they got 5 wins again.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's sad that we're predicting these 5 and 6 win seasons, man.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have made fun of Jason Garrett, and I think
the other sad thing. What'd you say?
Another night, an 8-8 would look amazing about now.
The other sad thing about it is the Giants had one of the 3 easiest schedules in football this year.
Oh,
so it's yeah, I mean, their opponent winning percentage, that's why they were going to be so set up in the draft. If any team they tied, they win with the tiebreaker. I think maybe them, the Jets, and the Patriots had the easiest schedule this year. Basically teams that were playing the NFC East and the AFC East. Although the AFC East is a little better this year than usual. Although I think the Jets wins at the end were a bit of a facade because they were getting it against Miami and the Bengals and the Giants and Washington and stuff like that. But so yeah, I over predicted on 6 and 10.
You weren't that far off. There's only 2.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe next year I'll go for 12, and hopefully I'll be 2 off.
Oh my God, I don't even know what 12 wins feels like. So yeah, I think this was a good first little jump into me and you, and
I agree.
Maybe I'll take you around, talk to the other guys, and see what they say, and see if you can hang. I'm not sure.
Oh, you're gonna shop me around a little bit.
Yeah, maybe. I have a whole crew. None of us get along. We all hate each other about that.
I'll be the glue. I'll if there's someone new there, when you have company over, if you're a parents are fighting, but then this company, they'll act like everything's nice. You know what I mean? You're screaming at someone, I hate you. The phone rings. Hello, right? Everything's normal. Yeah. So maybe I can be that calming force within there. Everybody wants to be on their best behavior,
Right. So yeah, once I figure out a good method to get everyone back on the phone, everything, maybe we can even try live. Well, people will say the worst things in the world in the comment section, and then you have to address them. So.
Oh, I can't wait. It's going to be so much fun. I look forward to that. Hopefully next time we do this, hopefully there is a next time, and I thank you very much for having me on. This was actually really fun, because normally I'm having these conversations, in the shower, on the subway,
with yourself?
With myself, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Pretending I'm being interviewed. But hopefully next time we talk, we've got a coach that we like, and we can start seeing some moves in the right direction.
So I'll probably have this out tomorrow. Maybe I can get it out tomorrow afternoon before anything happens.
Yeah.
It's been good. I will be.
It's been great.
To you. Yes, it's been great. Exactly.
There you go.
Let's see. I think that's it. I think we're going to sign out, right?
Marco, it's been a blast. I'll talk to you soon, buddy.
All right. That's Will Presty, everyone. You can follow him. I think it's at Will Presty, right, on Twitter?
That's correct.
There we go. All right. I'm out. I will talk to everyone tomorrow. Peace.